My name is Rodney Mott, and I'm the founder and the director of the Penryn workshop here in Penryn, California. I've been here for over 30 years now, and I've taught at many of the different colleges around the area, including Sierra College, Cosumnes River College, and now I'm at American River College. And when I came out here, I wandered into a ceramic class as a freshman in high school at 13 years old and never looked back. I feel so blessed to have found my passion in high school. Shortly after I moved here to Penryn, we started a workshop program. And in the last 30 years, we've put on over 100 workshops, including some of the most well-known ceramic artists in the country. We've had the opportunity to work with Peter Vokas and Susanna Israel and Rudy Audio and so many more. About 6 years ago, I went to Portland, Oregon to propose to a national conference called NCECA to come back to California. For the last 25 years, they've had their annual conference all over the country, and they featured so many great ceramic artists, but they have been away from California for so long. Well, long story short, in 2 weeks, they're going to be taking over the convention center and the Hyatt Regency in downtown Sacramento. And ceramic artists from all over Northern California are going to be highlighted and featured, and they're going to have the opportunity to really shine in front of a national audience, and we're super excited about that. So 5 days before NCECA, we're going to do a preliminary event here at Penryn Workshop called World Stoke. We've invited artists from all over the world to fly in. We're going to have a symposium of artist demonstrations and brush making and clay mono printing. We're also going to load and fire 2 large wood kilns and a series of raku firings. It's a 4-day event. It's really focused on addressing social equities in ceramic art. You would like to think that the system of art making and art in America would be an inclusive process. And when you take a little bit more of a dive and a look into it, it has its problems systematically, just like so many other institutions and programs do in America. So what we're trying to do with World Stoke is really lean into bringing all the cultures and all the families of the world together to create and make art and interact, and crossing our fingers that that's what we can accomplish. Our 4-day symposium begins with 3 days before it even starts of loading the huge wood kilns, which means that all the participants are dropping off their work, and then the loaders of the kiln have to take each piece individually and decide how to load it on its side or where to load it in the kiln. We have to use 3 little wads of clay for wood firing so that it doesn't stick. Wood firing is very different than any other firing because at 2,000 degrees, the wood ash melts and creates a beautiful fluid glaze over all the work. Now that can be a problem if you haven't wadded every piece. So with loving care, these kiln loaders will be taking thousands of pieces and over 3 days loading them in the kiln. Then we'll brick up the doors and we'll begin to fire over 10 cords of wood that we've cut over the last year, cedar and oak. That firing will be continuous 24/7. There'll be crews of people on the firing of the kilns every 4 hours. They'll change up, the crews will change up. Now during the firing of the kilns, which will take place here in Penryn, we have also rented a beautiful historic event center down in Loomis, just 3 minutes down the road. That's an indoor facility where people will be able to get to go enjoy the demonstrating artists. We're flying in the head of South Carolina University. We're flying in the head of University of Kentucky. We're flying in this incredible ceramic artist from Hungary. Her name is Julia Nima. And so all of these artists will be generously giving their experience and their wealth of knowledge to all the participants. One of the things that's key to our symposium is that we try to make every person who comes into this sphere feel like they're one of the most important parts of this symposium. And that's really important to us. So how we connect with each individual and learn their names and learn their backgrounds and do all this is going to be really important to us. Here's another thing. Also during the conference, we'll have a beautiful man named Glenn Grishkoff, who's coming up from Los Angeles to make Zen brushes with everyone that they can take home. So he's bringing all kinds of different hairs that he collects from roadkill or deer hair or skunk hair or whatever hair. And then he has these wonderful bamboo shafts, and everyone's going to be twining their brush together and then, taking them home and using them at the, most important parts of their artistic creative process. These brushes will be so spiritual to people. We also have an amazing artist who was a professor at Sacramento State for 23 years, Deborah Pittman, is coming, and she's a beautiful musician who plays the clarinet, and she's going to be helping people to make flutes. And I don't know exactly what they're called in the Hispanic culture. Anyway, they're wonderful instruments, and people can make one for themselves. And so it's going to be extremely hands-on, extremely interactive. And after the last couple years of isolation, it's going to be an amazing opportunity for people to begin to lean into getting back together and being together. And I feel lucky that we are at this time and coming out of this, and this is happening at this time.